I don't know how to put this, but I'm kind of a big deal. People know me.
It's true. As I sit here to kiss my game ball, hopefully that's clean. Ew. Anyway, yeah, I got a game ball this weekend for being the main coach in Little League for the Wolfpack. It was fun. I say main coach. I wouldn't really call myself the head coach. Coach Carl was wandering between the two teams because he leads both teams. But we played each other, so it was a lot of fun. And they allowed me to, come up with the lineup and make final decisions and stuff like that. Stuff like that. Even though Coach Chris, I delegated him to be in charge of the pitching, and I had Coach Mark handle the rotation of who rides the bench, who doesn't. Although he may have fucked it up. I don't know. He may have. But no, it was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun. We just fell short. Just fell short. Drives me nuts. The boys were on point when it came to running the bases. I was very pleased with that. And to the point where it gets to the other day, I was like, I want it to be to the point where I don't have to remind you to go. If I give you the green light to go and you see that there is the opportunity to go, then go. You know what I mean? Don't hesitate. And I would say 9 out of 10 of the boys did a great job of that. My son, he was a little, which is funny because my son's like the fastest guy in the team. I'm like, don't hesitate. You got wheels, bro. When you start to run, smoke comes out of your shoes. So, but it was fun. It was a great game. We just fell short, but it was good. It was good. I'm very proud of the boys. The only way I'm ever going to get a game ball again is if I shave my face. All my facial hair has to go away, and I'm going to look like I'm 12 years old. A tall 12-year-old, but nonetheless, I'll be a 12-year-old. And somebody's going to go, there's just something about him. If he didn't play like shit, I'd swear he was an adult. Well, could you imagine that? Like I fake my birth certificate. I make the team. They're like, oh, it's written in crayon and, a few words are misspelled, but yeah, sure, it passes, right? That's your birth certificate. Then I go out there and people are like, yeah, you know what? He's big, but he's terrible. We'll just let him play. We'll just let him play. How embarrassing would that be? Then it come to find out, well, he's in his mid-40s, but he's terrible. Most of the boys were better than him. That would be so embarrassing. Anyway, speaking of embarrassing, how you doing? Anyway, guys, great show coming your way. We got the mailbag, we got sports section, and we got some great headlines. But real quick, hit the follow button and make sure follow, subscribe, whatever it is. And if you can interact with the show, that's great. Give it a nice review, nice rating, all that good stuff if you can as well. And remember, today's show is brought to you by Delete Me. I'll tell you more about Delete Me as well as Roof Goat USA. That'll come up later in the show. But let's just do this. Let's go ahead and jump right into it. Let's get into those headlines.
Let's go! Let's go!
And now, here are the headlines.
This headline is disturbing. Connery, be on the ready. Oh, shit. If it's what I think it is, I'm still shaking in my boots. Okay, we'll get into it. An Ohio woman is wanted for allegedly cutting open her boyfriend's ball sack. That fucking bitch! We need to hunt her down. She's a terrible human being. I don't know why she did it, but fuck! Yeah. Here's what's crazy. They still haven't caught her. The alleged ball sack assailant is still on the loose. Oh my God, we got to come up with a nickname for her. I can't think of it right now off the top of my head. Send those in. What would her, how they're remember in Home Alone where we're the wet bandits because he leaves he floods the sinks or whatever like that. Is it Marty or I don't know? It doesn't matter. Marv does that. Anyway, what would her prison nickname or her nickname be for this crime? Because it's pretty fucked up. Her name's I think it's Juanita Hoppings. She's 45 years old. She allegedly kicked open the front door of her boyfriend's Toledo home, Toledo, Ohio, and just barged inside. I guess the boyfriend was just like, he was sleeping completely naked. Good for him. Good for him. If you live by yourself, why not sleep naked? That's all I'm saying. And she just goes in there. She somehow overpowers him. They don't know what she used to slice him open with, but she sliced open his sack to the point where when he was rushed to the hospital, one of his nuts was out. Like it was hanging outside the sack. That's fucking scary. She probably used like a box cutter or something. As somebody that's been in grocery stores and restaurants and stuff like that, and just around the house, doing maintenance around the house and stuff, using a box cutter, those razors, especially when they're freshly, replaced, those are sharp, and they can easily. And I know I actually cut my leg wide open with one once, but anyway, if she had that, no wonder. That's frightening, and she's still on the loose. The elusive ball slicer is on the loose. The ball slicer, that's not a good nickname. We got to come up with something. You guys are more creative than I am, right? The elusive ball snatcher. She's not a ball snatcher. I guess if she snatched his balls afterwards, she sliced it open and grabbed it and ran away. That would be worse. Yeah, but it's still pretty bad. I wonder if she cut along the seam. What? Every guy has a seam on their scrotum. Okay, well, now I'm thinking about some dude's scrotum. Thanks a lot, Connery. It's not going to be the first time. Shut up. That's disgusting. Sorry, guys, if you're into scrotums, that's fine. Whatever. It's just not my bag. Oh, do you like the joke? Hi-yo! That's not his bag, folks. He's talking about his nut bag. I will say this. This is really stupid. I read multiple articles on this because I was trying to figure out, did they catch her yet? And did they say why she did it? All the articles I read, I want to say like 5 of them, nobody knows why she did it, or they're not releasing that information yet. So that's pretty, disturbing. I mean, what makes you go into your boyfriend's, because it doesn't say ex, it says her boyfriend's house, and then slices nuts open and then run away? Was she like, zing, gotcha, prank? No, don't think so. He had to have done something wrong. Ladies, if you're listening, come on. You're sitting there saying the same thing I am. Yeah, that's messed up. But he probably deserved it. I know we shouldn't be judging, but we are. Look at us. Am I right, girls? Yeah. Let's be honest, guys. He's probably flirting or diddling somebody else. She found out about it. She kicked open his fucking door and was just like, give me those balls, you son of a bitch. And then she sliced his nuts. In a way, I'm like, good for her. Good for her. I'm just casting judgment. That's all, guys. That's all. Enough of the nonsense, Scotty. Arrest this woman. This is nonsense. You know what? If I got done with a bang session with this lady and she came at me with a sharp edge object, you know what I'd be doing?
So I kicked her in the pussy.
Yeah, that's right. I'd be punting for the ceiling. Oh God, that's terrible. That's frightening. My God. Security stepped up its game at the World Conker Championships after last year's steel nut conspiracy. Steel nuts. If you don't know what the World Conker Championships, we talked about this last year when this whole conspiracy came out. First of all, the Conker game and the championship is the seed of a horse chestnut tree, threaded onto a string to try, and then what you do is you try to smash your opponent's nut. This is the nut episode. That's what we got, guys. Isn't that weird how stories just align? I have two stories. Found them completely different ends of the internet. And they meet together right here on this show. Well, last year, because of last year, security was enhanced after the 2024 tournament was thrown into turmoil, as the article is written, when a men's championship, or the men's champion, David Jenkins, was accused of using a conker made of steel. Jenkins defeated his opponent last year, and it raised concern about the conker Jenkins had used during the face-off, because later, when they gave him a pat down, because the guy he beat, Alistair Johnson Ferguson, sounds like a fucking baby. If you use three names, you're probably a dick. Okay, I'm just saying, you're not a good sport. But anyway, Alistair was just like, "Oh, he cheated! I swear to God, there's no way. My conker's so strong. He cheated." Right? They gave him a pat down. That's embarrassing. They gave him a pat down, and they found a steel little conker. But that conker was actually just something that somebody made for him as like a good luck piece. It wasn't his conker. It's so dumb. It's so dumb that they had to go through this. But they're like, this isn't what he used. After investigating, they figured it out. So here's my thing. How does it get to that point? How about this? Every time that there's a conker battle, there's a judge making sure it's not magnetic or something like that, or it's not a rock. How about that? Do we have a conker expert? We'll just call it. I say conker. Do we have a nut expert out there? I'm a nut expert. Let me take a look at that nut. It's crazy. Ooh, look at this nut. It's crazy. Ooh, it's a little stiff. I like it. Usually I like it when it just wiggles a little bit. What? Nuts don't wiggle. Nuts don't wiggle. I like a little squish on it, but whatever. That's so crazy. So he ended up not winning this year, but the fact that they had to boost up security is hilarious to me. Scotty, there's been many a times where I've been accused of having steel nuts. That's not surprising, Connor, or Cowboy. You're known for being all balls. I know. There was one time, though, I was, we were playing Duck, Duck, Goose. What? Don't worry. It wasn't with kids. It was a bunch of adults, okay? You're playing Duck, Duck, Goose with adults? That's just bizarre. Yeah, it kind of is hindsight 2020. I don't know why we did that. But, hey, guess what? That's what happens when you drink too much whiskey. Anyway, I knocked out my buddy Johnson because I ran across and my nuts hit him right in the forehead. Knocked him out clean. Then everybody's like, "Oh, let's see those nuts. Somebody get a magnet." Anyway, that's how I met my wife. That's bizarre. That's dumb. That's stupid. I'm sorry. I didn't put much thought into that joke, but you're welcome. Oh, you're welcome. Could you imagine you're playing that nut banging game and somebody accuses you of cheating, or you're the one accusing somebody of cheating? And imagine being friends with that person that is accusing somebody, be like, "No, he cheated. His nuts can't be that strong. My nuts are strong." Like, how sad is your life that you're fucking pulling a bitch fit because somebody had a stronger nut than you? Hey, speaking of strong nuts, Connery, no, I know exactly where you're going. What? Why do you always get so, defensive, Scotty? Gosh. I'm sorry. You usually just go down a dirty path because I banged your mother last night. You didn't even, what? Connery, God. You couldn't keep that in, could you? No, I couldn't because it was a powerful nut. Okay. Okay, Connery. Okay. Guys, we got more coming your way. The sports section's fun, and the mailbag is a lot of fun too. Can't wait to get into that. But real quick, Delete Me makes it easy, quick, and safe to remove your personal data online at a time when surveillance and data breaches are common enough to make everyone vulnerable. And data brokers, I don't like them. They make a profit off your data. They're horrible people, okay? Christmas is right around the corner. If you know a data broker, take them off your list. Take them off your Christmas card list. Anyway, they make a profit off of your data, and your data is a commodity. Anyone on the web can buy your private details. This can lead to identity theft, phishing attempts, and harassment. But now you can protect your privacy with Delete Me. Oh, thank goodness. Thank goodness. I've had my data breached. It is so... it makes you feel so sick inside and so vulnerable and so I'm taken advantage of. That's what's really cool about a Delete Me is you can now take control of your data and keep your private life private by signing up for Delete Me. And now you get a special discount. If you're a listener, you're gonna get 20% off your Delete Me plan when you go to joindeleteme.com/hit. Use promo code HIT at checkout. And again, the only way you're going to get 20% off is to go to joindeleteme.com/hit. Enter that promo code HIT at checkout. Again, guys, say it with me. Go to joindeleteme.com/hit and use that promo code HIT. Guys, let's do this. Sports section. Oh, it's an interesting sports section. Let's do this. I keep saying, let's do this. Let's do it. I am just like, I'm too much. I'm a little much today. Okay. Let's be honest. A little much. My family's out and about. I'm doing this on Columbus Day / I can't say that word. I'm not a very smart person. I get confused on long words. I do. Not very smart. I'm not. But anyway, they're out and about today, so I could record. But anyway, let's do this. I said it again. Look at me. I'm so dumb. Let's get into sports.
Going deep, tight ends and long balls.
He starts to come and then he pulls out.
Oh, gross.
It's sports with the Huff.
I guess that open makes sense with today's show. But anyway, the Broncos beat the Jets in London over the weekend. It was an ugly offensive game for the Denver Broncos. But I'll tell you this, it's really neat as a Bronco fan to wake up on Sunday morning and there's a game going on at 7:30. Oh, that's cool. That's cool because depending where you live, obviously, on this planet, for me, I live in Mountain Time, so NFL games start at 11. Not bad. I think in all honesty, the Mountain Time zone has it perfect for football. 11 a.m. is great for the standard start. But, to get these games every now and then in London or in Germany, potentially Spain, who knows, it's kind of neat to have them start at, like, say, 7:30. I think that's neat. I think it is a really cool thing. I feel, by the way, the worst place for football in the United States start times or basketball, it's got to be the East Coast. You guys get screwed. Things starting at 10 o'clock at night, and then game ends at 1. Ugh. Extra innings got to piss you off. But anyway, the Broncos offense was not very pretty. But the bright spot was the Denver Bronco defense. Cowboy, who's getting the all-ball awards for this Bronco game against the Jets. Scotty, it's got to be, without a doubt, everybody on that Denver Bronco defense. The Denver Broncos had 9 sacks 15 quarterback hits, 7 tackles for loss, and 4 passes defended. The Denver Bronco defense was all balls and a stat that a lot of people don't like. But fudge cookies, I like it. I like it. Guess how many passing yards, net passing yards, Justin Fields had? Oh, I saw this. This is embarrassing. This is embarrassing. Oh, how many? How many, Cowboy? Get the name right, please, first of all. He passed technically for 45 yards. But when you subtract the 55 yards on loss because of sack, he passed for negative 10 yards. That's insane. That's great. Denver Bronco defense, use all balls, and you deserve the all balls award. Thank you, Cowboy. Yeah, that's a stat that some people hate. I know there's somebody on Facebook. I posted something about negative 10 net yards. You know, that's a stupid stat. I'm like, yeah, but it's a stat. Show me on the doll where the NFL statisticians touched you and hurt you. Let me see that, sir. God, it's a stat. Stupid stat. I don't like it one gosh darn bit. Who cares? It's a stat, and it proves to you how dominant the Broncos defense was. This game was way too freaking close. What did we say the other day? That we weren't going to be happy if it was close. The Broncos got the W. At the end of the day, a W is a W. I'll take it. I'll take it. But man, I think it was Michael on Twitter reacted to something I posted. I said something about like, this is way too close. Or this was way too close for my liking, and it's a little concerning. And he said that's what the Broncos do. They play up, they play down to their opponents. That's true. It's true. That being said, I think all but one game the Jets have played have all been close too. So while the Jets are 0-6, I mean, I don't think they're necessarily slouches. Their problem is coaching. If you watch the last 2 minutes of the first half of the Broncos Jets game, that's a synopsis of the Jets coaching. Everybody was confused. Everybody. Kurt Warner was doing the color commentary for the game. Him and Rich Eisen are sitting there like, what is happening? What is going on? They were confused. And it sucks because that's coaching. The players can only do so much. But that game, way too close. I'm not happy about that. I'll get to the poll here in a sec. I put on Twitter, I have it running for a couple days. I said, heading into week 7, Broncos country, what's your biggest concern with the team? Play calling, Bo Nix, offensive line, or other? And if you said other, you're supposed to explain yourself. We'll see if anybody has yet. But real quick, before we get into that, Sean Payton talked after the game, and it's funny what people in the media use for their clips. A lot of people were playing this because I don't think they went through the entire press conference. I went through the entire press conference of Sean Payton, and a lot of people are like, oh, they chose the clip that is real popular was near the very beginning of the press conference, which tells me I don't think they went through it all. But the one that they're using, and I don't feel like it was worth making much into a soundbite, was that the Broncos, based on stats, based on the data that Sean Payton and his staff have collected, that teams that don't take their bye week after a international game, the teams that don't take a bye week tend to be better off, and their likelihood of success the following week is much more positive. So that's why they did it. So good. I like that. But here's the soundbite I grabbed for Mile High Sports because I thought this was a lot more telling about the Broncos team as a whole.
Well, it was a defensive team today, and I hope to consider it a defensive team all season. I mean, I think in order to win, I think that's extremely necessary in our league, and they were something.
You know, the last time the Denver Broncos leaned heavy on their defense, I'm not saying that's going to happen this year, but let's not forget when the Denver Broncos went to Super Bowl 50. That was one of Peyton Manning's worst seasons. In fact, he got hurt in that season. Brock Osweiler stepped in and did a fantastic job. Debatable if he should have started the Super Bowl, because he could have. And I think we would all have been fine with that. But anyway, don't need to go down that path. But the thing is, the fact that Sean Payton is, we're a defensive team, which tells me when this offense gets clicking, because right now it's very spotty. Okay? It has a high flow day and then it has a low flow day. What the fuck are you talking about, Scotty? Are the Broncos a period now? No, I don't know why I said that. Yeah, let's forget I said that. Anyway, the Broncos offense, it's hit or miss. They're either, humming or they're not. And I don't think the Jets defense is as bad as their record says it is. The Broncos go into next week, week 7, against the New York Giants. That's going to be a big test too. I think once the Broncos can figure out how to stifle that juggernaut behind, that's taking the rock from the backfield, Scatterboo. Man, talk about a meathead. Holy shit. Me play football? Me run ball? Me hurt people? That's him, okay? That's dangerous. What scares me about him is he has no concern about his well-being. He will go out there and play smash ball. And that's what he does. And he's always been that way. So if the Broncos can stifle Scatterboo and remind Jackson Dart, their quarterback, that he's a rookie. Is he a rookie? Yeah, he's a rookie. But either way, just shake him to his core. The Broncos had 9 sacks against the Jets, against Justin Fields, who's a very mobile quarterback. If they can do the same thing, Broncos walk away. But walk away with a W. As long as their offense can improve from this past week. They had shining moments. Their touchdown drive was phenomenal. That was a great drive. Bo Nix, his receivers were on point. They're playing aggressive. I liked it. And then it just got weird after that, which kind of leads me to my poll question on Twitter. Let me pull it up. Somebody just wrote yes. Wolfie responded yes to the question of, headed into week 7, Broncos country, what's your biggest concern with the team? Play calling, Bo Nix, O-line, or other? He just wrote yes. I like it. Okay. Other is at 3.2%. Bo Nix, 19.4%. Offensive line, 29%. Play calling, 48.4%. While I trust Sean Payton, I do. And I think he just has so much knowledge up rolling around in his noggin that it would blow us all away with how much he knows about football. He's a lot of these guys. They're similar to Mike Shanahan. They just know so much and can anticipate what's going to be the move of their opponent. They're playing chess while a lot of other coaches are figuring out checkers. Okay? But that being said, the play calling is a little suspicious. And play calling is a fine mixture of calling the right plays and making sure that your pieces, the players, are actually executing it. Because you could call the right play, but if they're not executing it properly, that's a problem. If the offensive line isn't opening up holes for the run game to do its job, that falls back onto the coaching. People are like, well, shouldn't have called a run play. Well, if you go back and look at it, is it the play calling or is it the offensive line? I'm actually leaning on it's a delicate balance between play calling and O-line. I'm not concerned about Bo Nix. I think it's a lot of execution on there's so many pieces involved. The Broncos stuck with it. They, like Sean Payton said, the Broncos are a defensive team. Thank God. Thank God. Otherwise they would have lost. I was not happy until the final whistle blew. Okay. But good for the Broncos. They came out with a W. Am I concerned about Sean Payton as a Denver Broncos head coach? No. Am I concerned about Bo Nix? No. Am I concerned about the offensive line? Yes. So I guess as I do that quick analysis on myself, I feel good. I feel like I just sat down in a therapy session. I just paid $300 for something that I figured out in 30 seconds. I think ultimately I'm more concerned about the offensive line, not protecting Bo Nix as much. That being said, he only got his jersey dirty, like I want to say twice, as far as he was sacked twice. But the thing is, I'm more concerned about the offensive line not giving enough protection and not opening the holes properly for the run game. I'm not looking at the tapes. I'm not doing super analysis in the training rooms with the players. I'm not. You're not hanging out in the locker room, Scotty, being a little bug on the wall, listening to the players. No, why? No. You're not looking at the wieners, you little, hey. Why'd it go there? I don't know. I'm feeling kind of weird today. Weird. I said weird. Here's my thing. I'm more concerned about the offensive line. Play calling is an interesting and ever-evolving thing. And it's something that most of us can't truly wrap our brains around. We think we know, but we don't know. So as of right now, I'm not concerned about that. We'll see how I feel after the Giants game. We can get into that a little bit later in the week. But at the end of the day, guys, I'm a Broncos fan. And they won. It wasn't pretty. But I want to see teams. I want to see my favorite team win gritty. I want to see them win dirty. As in, ooh, God, that did not look good. But they won. They won. Okay? I know a lot of people in the media are going to be like, okay, guys, it's time to panic. Nobody should be happy about this. The gosh darn Denver Broncos, somebody needs to fire Sean Payton. Bo Nix is a fraud.
Everybody panic!
Why don't you shut up, okay? Stop it. Come at me again. See what happens. See what happens if you do that again in my face.
Grab his dick and twist it!
That's what's going to happen. Let's not panic over the Broncos. Let's not. If your team won, they won. Yes, the Jets are a train wreck. But the Broncos won. Anyway, guys. Tua. Oh, no. Tua and the Dolphins lost to the Chargers 29-27. Tua, after the game, he just put a target on his back.
Well, I think it starts with the leadership in helping articulate that for the guys, and then what we're expecting out of the guys, right? We're expecting this. Are we getting that? Are we not getting that? We have guys showing up to player-only meetings late, guys not showing up to player-only meetings. Like, there's a lot that goes into that. Do we have to make this mandatory? Do we not have to make this mandatory? So it's a lot of things of that nature that we got to get cleaned up, and it starts with the little things like that.
To be clear, you're saying some players were late or missed?
Late, yeah.
Thank you.
Well, guess what, Tua? That's not how you make friends. It's not. Tua. While he's right, okay, here's the thing. He's saying people aren't fully invested in winning, is what we're hearing from that. They're calling a players only meeting. Guys are showing up late. Guys are just opting not to show up. That's a problem. Showing up late is disrespectful. Not showing up at all tells me you've just quit on the team or you just don't give a shit. That's the Dolphins are imploding. And Tua's calling out everybody. In fact, he's also calling out Mike McDaniel for that too. Mike McDaniel may get fired this week or next week. But I would not want to be in the I'm trying to find that Mike McDaniel soundbite. Like, you got to win games in order to lose games. Hold on. It's funnier if I had that. That's why I was slowing down. Hold on. You have a special gift? No. This could work.
You must be on crack.
Yeah, that could work for the Dolphins. Hey, I don't know where the fuck I put that soundbite. God damn it. Damn it. Anyway, you get the point. The problem is Tua's calling out everybody. And they are a train wreck. They are. The Dolphins, if you're a Dolphins fan, man, this has got to be sickening. And as a Bronco fan, hey, we've been there. Ugh. But expect Mike McDaniel to be fired this week or next. Okay? They got to make some changes. Him and his jorts or whatever he, need. What does he wear? Those one leggings. He doesn't wear leggings. Does he wear I don't know. He wears these high water pants all the time. He's going to be, trying to find another gig. And let's be honest. He's a smart dude. Here's my thing, guys. Just like me, I essentially failed as being the main manager in Little League. There's some people that are just better at being assistants. While I can say that we were close, I don't know if I'll ever have the opportunity to be the head manager again. But there's nothing wrong with being a defensive coordinator, offensive coordinator, or just assistant coach. There's nothing wrong with that. Just because you know how the game works doesn't mean that you should be the main one in charge. Okay? Some people are good at it. Some people are good at delegating. Some people are good at, putting the right pieces in the right spots. Some people are only good at a little sliver of that. There's nothing wrong with that. That might be Mike McDaniel. So expect him to get fired this week or next. That's the way I'm looking at it. Chad Brown, former NFL superstar, former CU Buff superstar, former guest of this show, amazing human being, tweeted this in response to Tua's comments. Never air the team's dirty laundry in public. Never. Never point the finger at someone else on the team without including yourself. Never. Bad ball here, Tua. And aren't you a leader? Yeah, that's the thing. That's a great point. He threw everybody else under the bus, but didn't take any sort of accountability himself. Even if he just throws it in there as, myself included. I could be better. That's fine. That's a CYA. That's like, oh, yeah, maybe I fucked up. And everybody knows it's not Tua. But you know what? At least he put himself out there. He put himself out there on the front lines as everybody's getting shot. No. He shoved everybody forward and then ducked down so everybody else could take the bullets. That's what happened, Tua. That's not what Mike Evans used to say, or probably still still does. He's not a foxhole guy. Is that a guy you want in your foxhole that is just literally going, hey, look, there's bullets. Hey, shoot over here. Shoot over here. That's what happened. Right? That's what happened. He's not somebody you want in your foxhole. You're welcome, Mike. Always give Mike Evans credit. Mike Evans is one of my favorite radio talents here in Colorado. Just an amazing, smart, funny guy. But anyway, I agree with you, Chad, for what you said. And Chad being somebody that's been in the locker room, Tua's just caused a big gaping hole of trust in that locker room. Do you want to play with Tua? If you're one of the guys that was kind of on the verge of, I really want this thing to work this season, we can still turn it around, I trust in Tua, then all of a sudden you see him throw everybody else under the bus, you're like, well, that's kind of scummy. If somebody did that in your workplace, you're working hard, Tua's kind of like you're on the fence about him or whoever the guy is, and they throw everybody under the bus, and then they and essentially throw you under the bus, regardless if you're guilty or not, and then they take no accountability. Let's say they're the project manager. They're just the manager in general. Guess what? They got a fucking target on their back. They're scummy. You can't work with that person anymore. Tua. Don't be surprised if Tua has a concussion this week because he might get knocked the fuck out in the locker room. I hate to say it, but that could happen. And that's a guy that can't afford to get hit in the head. So, Tua, bad look. I do not like that Tua did that. And thanks to Chad Brown, I'll assume that he chimed in on the show. Okay? You're welcome. Hey, before we get into the mailbag, you know what? When it comes to roof repairs, you're going to want to go with the best. Who's the best? Do you know who it is? You know who it is? Say it with me. Roof Goat USA. They've been in business for over 23 years. They understand the headaches that come with fixing a roof. So weather's turning. Guys, fall is in the air. Get somebody out to inspect your house. It's a free evaluation with Roof Goat USA. They'll come out. They'll set things up, take a good look. And guess what? They'll tell you what the next steps are logically, whether it's a repair, replacement, dealing with insurance, not dealing with insurance, all that stuff. They can help you go into the right direction, and Roof Goat USA is going to show you why they are the GOAT. They prioritize the safety and comfort of your family, making sure that your home is well protected against all the elements while they're fixing it and long after, because Roof Goat USA guarantees their work. They got a 30-year coverage from install date. That's all materials and labor for 30 days after date of install. That's the Roof Goat USA way. For all your roofing needs, go ahead, contact the GOAT. 303-495-4630, 303-495-4630, or if it's easier for you, just go to roofgoatusa.com. Again, roofgoatusa.com. Experience the Roof Goat USA difference today. And what we should do right now is jump in the mailbag.
Mailbag. You've got mail.
Oh, crap. Where's my thing? Oh, this came in from Dougie Doug. He said, I saw this headline and immediately thought about the show, but I'm not sure which one of you to react to it. The headline is, should I tell my neighbor about the alligator in the lake we swim in? What kind of asshole neighbor? That's the headline. This isn't Dougie Doug. He saw the headline, and this is insane. Dougie Doug. Thank you. Dougie Doug. Spinning the hot wax. Should I tell my neighbor about the alligator in the lake we swim in? I guess, first of all, I'm just going to say that's jacked up. What a fucking not just terrible neighbor. What a terrible human being. Let's go through the guys. Cowboy, what do you think about this? Should he tell him? What kind of human being are we dealing with? My goodness gracious. Dougie Doug, thank you for sending this in to me, because it's a reminder that there's terrible fucking human beings out there that ain't all balls because they're swimming in a lake that has alligators in it that Apparently, their buddy or their neighbor doesn't know that's in there. And they're like, I don't know. Should I tell him? Yes, you fucking dick. My goodness gracious. That ain't all balls. No balls at all. Connery, what do you think? I think it depends. How hot's your neighbor's wife? Connery, Jesus Christ. What? I'm just asking a question. Just saying availability might be opening up. That's disturbing. That's disturbing. So you're saying if the neighbor's wife's hot, he goes in there and swims with the neighbor. Yes. He gets ate or his junk gets bitten off. Yes. And then that opens up a door of opportunity for you. Yes, now you get it, Duff. Thanks. I'm glad you're on my side. I'm not on your side. I just see where you're coming from. Okay, I get it, Scotty. Wink, wink. Again, people can hear you say wink, wink. I know, but there's some people that are listening versus watching. So, wink, wink. Okay. I guess Ozzy, what do you think about this one? Should this person tell their neighbor about an alligator that's in a lake that they all swim in? I don't know about that one. Growing up in Australia, there's always gators everywhere. Okay, no big deal. Sometimes you wrestle them. Sometimes you shove a bag of cocaine down the throat, and then you later go get it. So yeah, it's fine. First of all, you didn't answer the question at all, and two, what the fuck is your obsession with cocaine? Oh my God. You just go back and get it. Yeah, that's right. That's right. Oh, Jesus Christ. I almost broke my audio board. That's disturbing, guys. Doesn't that tell you? I actually looked this up to see where Doug found this because I just copy-pasted it and saw where the article was because he just copied the headline. This was a Dear Abby. You know, the Dear Abby where they're like, oh my God, my husband likes to jack off in the sink and then he never wants to touch me. Should I make a peanut butter and jelly sandwiches every morning still? Stuff like that, right? And the answer is yes. Sorry. So that's somebody legitimately asking that question. That's a terrible human being. I didn't see what Abby wrote, but can't imagine she'd be like, well, that's a good question. I don't know. Sometimes you just got to evaluate the whole situation. Is the person nice? No, it does. Well, oh, wait. Oh, this is why we talk things out. Is if your neighbor's an asshole, yeah, maybe you don't say anything. Now you're taking Scotty. Stop it. I didn't say anything about his wife. I know where you're headed with this one. It's fine. Doesn't matter how hot she is, really, to be honest. Okay, hornball. But what I'm saying is that would be a hard debate. Speaking of hot, I banged your mother last night. Okay, come on. God, I'm just trying to have this full conversation. Okay, so it would be a difficult debate within yourself if the neighbor was an asshole. If the neighbor's an asshole and you find out there's an, what did they say, alligator swimming around where you guys swim, and you're like, dude, God, man, this guy's a prick to everybody, belittles people. I think that's one of those things where I just wouldn't, I would stop swimming there. And just, I know that sounds fucked up. Sounds fucked up. Me growing up, I encountered a lot of terrible human beings. And if I was ever in a situation similar to this and one of those individuals was swimming there, I wouldn't say anything. Be like, let him swim. Right? I know that sounds fucked up. And some of you are like, that's not, oh, you're going to burn in hell. Yeah, I guess I am. If you're a completely terrible human being, I'm going to look the other way. If you're borderline good person, okay, I'm going to be like, hey, I know you're a prick and all, but hey, just FYI, there's a gator in there. And if they're dumb enough to continue swimming in there, that's on them. At least you can say you said something. Right? Does that make sense? Am I going to hell for that one too? If you just say your piece, why not? Why not? Hey, let's check in on the poll again. The poll. How's the poll going? Play calling still leading the way, 46.9%. O-line, 31.3%. Bo Nix is the problem, 38.8%. Other is 3.1, excuse me. So, yeah. I think a lot of people are nervous about the Broncos. But there you go. Guys, thank you so much for joining the show. Big thanks to Dougie Doug. Chad Brown, I'm going to give you credit for joining the show. You're welcome. Also, big thanks to Tua for joining the show, as well as Sean Payton. Yeah, way to go, Sean. Hey, you're welcome, Sean. Thanks for. Oh, where's that one of Sean? Where's the you and your radio shows? Oh my God. God damn it. I am not on point today. By the way, it was good to see Sean Payton. I'm cutting up press conferences this past week when they were in London. And he seems so happy. He used to play out there for when the NFL Europe was out there. And I forgot about that, being a former quarterback. So he met some of his old teammates and stuff. It was, I'm glad that they got the win because that added to the memory of it, even though it was a close game, an ugly game at times. But it seemed like Sean Payton was in a very happy spot this past week in London. So that was neat to see. Here, this is the soundbite I was looking for. I thought I trimmed it up.
Coach, it was reported that quarterback Bo Nix was hanging out with your old quarterback.
It wasn't reported. I stated it 3 days ago. Gosh, your own little internet shows are driving me crazy. Listen, Bo Nix, if you were here 2 days ago, you would have heard me say he spent some time with Breeze. So it was reported. Keep going.
How is that improved? It makes it different?
No, just what I said 3 days ago.
He's so irritated. He's come a long way from July, late July to this week where he was, very happy going into the game against the Jets in London. So good to see that. And I'm still confident in the Broncos. I'm just a little disappointed in their performance against the Jets. And I guess that's fine. That's fine. No need to hit the panic button, even though local media they're going to do one of two things. They're going to be blowing the Denver Broncos defense. Well, that's okay. It's okay. Or they're going to be calling for everybody to slam the panic button because the Broncos game was too close. I agree. It was way too close. I don't like the fact, like Michael was saying on Twitter earlier, is they play up and play down to their opponents. That's something I don't like to see. I wanted to see the Broncos go in there and win by 3 scores, not 2 points. But I'm not ready to hit the panic button. I believe in the Broncos. I believe in Sean Payton. There we go. There, I said it. Sean, I'm in your corner, Sean. I am. Forget those nonsense internet boys and their wackadoo ways, okay? Huh? Everybody hit the panic button. Hit the panic button. Oh, my God. I'm so scared. I'm so scared. The Broncos, they won, but not good enough. Okay. Don't forget, 2015, Denver Broncos leaned heavy on the Broncos defense while Peyton Manning had a very, very poor performance throughout the season, okay? They won the Super Bowl that year. That's all I'm saying. Just all I'm saying. Not to say that that's going to happen, but what I'm saying is don't freak the fuck out. Just remember this too. Local media, when it comes to Broncos or your favorite team, whatever, what sells? Negativity sells, okay? That's what it is. Ride high on the Broncos defense. Yes, that's okay. Do not freak out about the Broncos offense. Not yet. Not yet. And don't be freaking out about Sean Payton. Not a goddamn second. In Payton, we trust. In Payton, I trust. Okay. Anyway, you guys are amazing. Have a wonderful day. Let's continue to move forward. Hi to half. Oh, God, Jesus Christ. Ozzy, what? Any word on that crack? Why? That's your thing now. You know, Ozzy DeHuff, it used to be, I don't even know what your catchphrase was before. But now it's just like, oh, you're all about crack. Yeah, it's weird, huh? Anyway, guys, you're amazing. Have a wonderful day. Let's continue to move forward. I'll talk to you next time.